We have an awesome show for you today. We're going to give you our WWE 2K22 MyGM Mode review. We're going to talk about some of the good things that we have in this mode. We're also going to talk about some of the stuff that really just doesn't work. We got all of that for you guys today on the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to Assemble. I'm Matt. Great to have you here on the show. Let's talk MyGM Mode. We're giving you our full in-depth review of the mode. This is the big one that came out. Everyone was hyped about it. We're going to talk about whether or not this really landed for fans. If you guys do go on to enjoy this episode all the way through, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm. So it has been years since we've received a GM mode, a MyGM mode. And 2K has finally brought this into existence and let players get their hands on drafting their own roster and creating their brand and being able to make these matchups the way they want to, being able to manage contracts, personalities, promos, win the ratings war, interact as a general manager. It's what so many people have been hoping for, and for newcomers or people that have not really been into MyGM or general manager mode, it's something new for them to be able to get into. Here's some of the good things about MyGM. Being able to select from a variety of general managers is really good. Selecting from Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, William Regal, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, or even being able to put in your own custom general manager is really cool. Putting your own render of yourself in the game is really awesome. Downloading other superstars, putting Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff in there as a custom general manager, it's a neat feature. Then being able to select your brand that you want to play on. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, and each different brand giving you unique attributes and perks. We can also set up custom drafts if we want to. We can go with the standard draft, or we can set it up so we can pick and choose which superstars are going to be made available, even legends, putting them on the active roster. You can do some customization in here for MyGM. And then the process of drafting your roster is fun. Now it is limiting. One of the downsides of this is that it is not online. We cannot play with our friends online. There's only couch co-op made available. And if you're like me, you're playing this mode by yourself a lot of the time. But the draft itself is fun. Being able to select the different superstars to build out your Raw, your SmackDown roster, picking and choosing based off of their popularity or their class, and thinking of all of the different matchups that you want to have for your brand, it's a lot of fun. Once the draft is complete and you're ready to go, you have the interactions with Triple H as the commissioner, giving you advice, setting the stage, giving you some bonuses along the way, and then you select your champions for your Universal Champion and your Women's Champion, and you're off to the races, setting up your show. Booking your shows for your respective brand for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK, setting up for the pay-per-views themselves, and building your shows bigger and bigger. Having different tabs for things like show logistics, managing your roster, the power cards, ratings, the journal entries that are in there for superstar interactions and commissioner interactions, it's well laid out. The show logistics is a really fun area to be in because we can increase our advertisement, we can change our arenas, we can update the ring crew, the special effects, pyro, and everything to make a better show. It'll cost you a lot, so you have to be able to manage your budgets accordingly. You don't want to go through and blow it all on huge top name superstars because this is going to hurt your brand and you won't be able to get out of the gymnasiums any faster. So there is strategy involved when you want to build out the roster that you want. We can't have heavy hitters like Charlotte and Roman and Becky and all of these stars at the top filling out your roster because you're likely to lose week over week. And then building out your weekly card, it can be entertaining and it can be fun. Being able to set up different matches, and you can set up the matches how you want, but you have to strategize and make sure that you are doing it to try to improve the ratings and improve the performance of your show. You have to watch things like popularity. You have to watch things like the different classes that you have superstars go up against. We can't always have our favorite matches. We can't just do Randy Orton versus Edge or two fighters going at it. We need to be able to change it up. And the customization of having things like the promos, being able to have advertising in there, calling out other superstars. It allows you to maneuver and change each week's show the way you want and keep you pretty engaged. And then getting the results of that show, seeing how it all performed, simulating through the experience, seeing the viewership numbers, the revenue numbers, all of the show notes from superstars or fans. So I appreciate 2K putting a lot of effort in here to make a clean experience, one that's easy to navigate through from beginning to end, from your show being built all the way through to the show finishing, to pay-per-views, and seeing what adjustments you need to make along the way. You get interactions with your champions, with the superstars, the morale goes up and down, superstars get injured, and you have to adjust accordingly, and it makes it for a little bit more entertaining and more engaging mode. If you don't play superstars a lot, then they're going to get mad at you, and you want to be able to put them on the card. If they feel that they're going to be able to team up with a certain superstar because they would make a good tag team, you need to do those things if you want to be that type of GM, but you can be just a mean GM the whole way through and not do that. And superstars' morale can change and go up and down. And we're getting 15, 25, and 50 weeks for the mode, and I have gone through both 15 and 25 weeks for MyGM, and I do like that we have the options to select how long we want to do this mode. If it was always set at a full calendar year, I would worry that a lot of fans would want to drop out because they feel like it's too long and it's just constantly doing the exact same thing, or they want to set up a whole new MyGM experience with a different brand. And for me, playing on my Xbox Series X, I haven't experienced crashes or lag or really long loadings or anything like that within this mode. Getting in there and being able to spectate, simulate matches, or even play as the general manager and be ringside gives you enough options in the mode and not feel like you are just having to go through and manage contracts and manage this thing kind of from afar. So there is a lot to enjoy with this, and being able to add legends to your roster, being able to sign free agents, release superstars. It can bring you back in a lot as you really dig into the mode, into the nitty-gritty of the stats pieces of it. And that's the big piece that resonates with a lot of people, and it also doesn't resonate with others. If you're not the type of person that wants to go through and manage contracts and look at the statistics, see how your shows are performing from revenue side and advertising and contracts and morale and all of those pieces, it may not be the best mode for you to experience. So those are some of the good things about MyGM, but we gotta talk about what's not working in this mode and what's not working for a lot of players out there in the community. One of the main things with MyGM that is a real letdown is the lack of titles. Not being able to add more titles to the mode is a letdown. We can only select the major universal title, or we're going to select our women's title. You can't have intercontinental. You cannot even have tag team titles in there, which makes very little sense when your match cards can include tag team matches. And while it's a good thing that I can go in and customize my draft the way I want for adding superstars, if you go through a standard draft, not every superstar is made available. I had to replay the draft numerous times in order to see if certain stars like Roman Reigns or Edge or Randy Orton would pop up in the draft to become available. So it randomizes the stars that are made available versus just saying, here's the entire roster of the game broken up by legends, active, inactive, and just click the boxes to select who you want to make available within your draft. Yes, we can go through and customize it, but by default, what I'm saying is it's puzzling, especially the first time you're playing in the mode. That first time of clicking in and starting a brand new GM mode, Roman Reigns was not available for me right off the bat, and I thought something was wrong. Is that a small detail? Maybe, but it can be confusing for some players when they're going out there and playing this thing for the first time. I'm also not nuts on the big hook of the mode for setting up rivalries and having good producing shows, it being based off of their class. Having two bruisers go at it, or two fighters, or two cruiserweights isn't going to result in great match statistics and great outcomes. You need to have it changed so that you have a giant versus a cruiserweight, and that will do a better result for you versus having two people of the same class going at it. Not only that, making sure it's heel versus babyface. These are standard logistics things, but I wish the system itself didn't really rely on that. I wonder if focusing on the popularity of certain superstars, heel and face, would make for a better experience, because it's about the superstars. We want to be able to set up dream matches we want to have in our mode, and not get punished almost for not setting up the proper style of match based off of what the system wants us to do. I don't like having a limited number of draft picks within my roster either. I wish that I could have a much deeper roster made available to me. I wish that we had a bigger budget. And those are things that could be patched down the road, probably not, but they are things that I wonder if why I can't actually increase the budget or start with more. It would make for it to be a little bit more balanced when I could take on a few bigger contracts, but it's a small detail that I know that a lot of people in the community wish they had within the mode. It also becomes a bit frustrating when you are thinking you are building out quality shows that are going to drive good numbers, and then you get the comparisons between you and the computer, and you find that your openers and your main events were trash, but your tag team mid-card match did great. And you might try to repeat it the next week and it's not going to do as well. It's driving too much focus on what the CPU and the AI want you to do and moving you in a direction that you, as the actual general manager and controller of it, you may not actually want to do. Total number of matches on your card as well is limiting. Having 3 matches and 2 promo slots made available for your SmackDown show, and then having it increase when you get to the pay-per-view. Great that the matches increase when you get to the pay-per-view, but I need more than 3 matches on the card for my SmackDown show. I wish that it was actually going to be 5 matches for my weekly show, 8 for the main pay-per-view, and for WrestleMania, put it up to 10 or 12. Why not? You can leave matches blank, but that's going to hurt your ratings. But if you have a large pay-per-view, having more customization made available, like substituting out a match for a promo or an advertising slot, would have given players more accessibility and more control over their actual universe within general manager mode. I'm not a fan of the fact that playing the matches instead of simulating them or spectating them, it means nothing. It doesn't change anything. It'll change who wins and who loses by you playing, but there's no change if you just simulate it instead. You could have a 5-star banger barn burner match of Roman Reigns versus Edge, and the result could be a 1.5 star rating like the Dave Meltzer scores. And you're scratching your head wondering, why is this happening? This was an amazing match. But it's the matchup, the classes, and so on that matter. So you trying to go in and change narratives and trying to adjust the outcomes and the rivalries and setting things up doesn't matter. And that's a big miss I feel with this mode. And I tried going in and being the general manager myself, being ringside. And that's cool because I can walk around, I can grab chairs, or I can interact with the ref, or break up a pin, or taunt, or distract. That's all awesome. And it adds a little bit extra dimension and character and a layer to it. And it impacts the rivalries and your superstar's performance and morale afterwards. But I feel like it's just kind of bare bones and it's missing something. Yes, it allows you to dictate what kind of general manager you're going to be, but you know what's funny is that if I can have all of that control as the general manager in the mode, spectate the match, interfere, distract the referee, break up a pin, why can't you give fans the opportunity to be the referee in the match? Why do I have to only be ringside? Why can't I be in the match as the ref and be involved that way? Again, that's more customization, that's more control for the user, and it changes it up and makes it a little bit more fun. Once I've interfered in a match and I've been ringside as Sonya Deville as my general manager, and you do that a few times, I feel like I have done it and I've moved on and I don't need to really do it again. So is MyGM the grand holy grail of modes that I was hoping for from my days of SmackDown versus Raw and wanting to experience that once again? Not exactly. It doesn't check all the boxes for me. And as other reviewers and other folks in the community have posted themselves with their feedback, it feels like a base foundation of a mode that 2K plans to build upon over the coming years. Fun? Yes. Drafts are great. Power cards are fun. Customizing the show is fun, but it is limiting. Not being able to customize my own custom arenas in there. Not having multiple matches available, triple threats, fatal 4-ways, tornado tag teams, being limited to one-on-one matches and tag team matches is a miss. So not to give it a score by any means, but I do feel that the MyGM mode is average. A lot of good is in here and you could see that it has potential, but it didn't hit the potential level that a lot of fans I think were hoping for. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on MyGM mode. What stands out to you for being good? What doesn't work for you? Let me know and let's have a conversation. If you guys enjoyed that episode, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and check out this one right here because it is our full impressions of 2K22 overall. And I hope to see you guys on the next episode.